Hi guys! Teacher Dinela here again. Happy to see you. No, you're happy to see me, I guess. Today I have a very special guest here with me. I've known her for a very long time because we're actually working in the same field of business. Long story short, ta-da! What's up, bro? Basically, what we'll be talking about today is grammar. We need it to speak correctly, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that we don't have to study it to speak. Speaking never depended on it, and will never depend on it.
As Dinela said, we need it just to speak correctly because we don't want to sound foolish.
So, we'd like to give you a couple of tips today. We don't want you to stress too much about it. You actually need to learn grammar if you want to become an English teacher, or if you have this strong academic interest in it. That's all.
Yeah.
Nobody asks you to retell rules.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's talk about why are you learning grammar?
Are you learning it because you want to make sure that you know all the rules?
Or you're learning it just because you want to make sure to speak grammatically correct? What we mean is you don't have to actually study grammar in a way that will force you to memorize all the grammar rules names.
Like dependent clauses.
Who cares what dependent clauses are?
Like seriously, are you gonna walk around and like,
I
know what I found out today? What dependent clauses are.
Why, really? No.
I know English. You can call me Englishman. That's my middle name.
Oh, you just killed me.
Like, you know, here in Bosnia.
Well, I believe in every other country too.
Yeah. Like, in schools, they mainly focus on grammar. They focus on grammar rules so much, and 20 years later, kids end up speaking literally no English.
At all.
At all.
Hannah here is a non-native speaker, but look at her. I mean, you can hear her. Her English is, basically whatever we talk about, she can express herself fluently, easily, in a way that no other people who know grammar perfectly can do.
I'm actually a clear example that you don't have to be native, because actually my students like so many times ask me am I native, because of course they cannot know the difference that much. They hear my accent, they hear that I speak clearly, they hear that I speak grammatically correct, and they just assume that I'm native. And that's the problem, actually that's the problem, because they assume that I was in America, and then they just label you as like you were born there and that's why you speak.
But she was actually born here, grew up here, and you get to decide.
Honestly, I watched like a lot of Cartoon Network when I was a kid. So.
Play Cartoon Network for your kids, guys. Guys, there are so many native speakers who have no idea what conditionals are. Who cares about that? So do not focus on grammar that much. Capisci? So here's the thing. I would like you all to speak without thinking about the rules, okay? And another thing is this. Some people go like, oh, even if I don't study grammar that much, I still can speak fluently. Well, it's because you don't spend time practicing. Keep it honest. You don't have to be honest with me. You don't have to be honest with teacher Hannah. You have to be honest with yourselves. If you're not going to practice speaking, nobody else is going to do it for you. Trust me. Right? And practice 30 minutes each day. If you do not have your own English teacher, talk to yourself, listen to music, sing out loud, The most important thing is that words come out of your mouth, okay?
Just choose it.
Yeah,
That simple.
that simple.
Really simple.
So as we said, speaking is the most important thing, and the best way to learn grammar is actually to speak. You don't learn grammar to speak, but you speak, and that's how you learn grammar. And that's how you express yourself correctly, okay?
So, for the first tip today, do not be afraid to make mistakes, because they are your friends. And that's how you learn.
So you make a mistake, you take your special notebook, you write it down. You write the correct version of it. You write 1 or 2 example sentences related to it. And then you just in the future think of it. You remind yourself by using your notebook how the correct version goes.
That's simple.
Tip number 2.
Do not learn all the grammar at once.
Don't. Just do not. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Because you'll get confused. It's gonna be so much of grammar there that you'll be like, where do I start? Somebody help me.
Yeah. Even if you start at the right place, you're just gonna get confused, because once you start going further, it's gonna be too much.
That's it. Instead of that, you just learn grammar rules that you need at that moment. For example, if you make a mistake with conditional first, today, you take a conditional first lesson, you study it for about 5 minutes, and you're done. Okay, conditional first goes like, if it stops raining, I will go outside. This is the correct version. Let's say you say, if it will stop raining, I will go outside. Well, this is a mistake. If it will stop raining. So you have to cut this word will and replace it with if it stops raining, I will go outside. So you correct yourself, you write it down. That's it. That's 5 minutes of grammar that you need at that moment, not all the time.
And actually, if you really need to practice, because you know, we do need to practice it sometimes for tests or something, as we said, do not take the rules all at once. Make it easier for yourself. Take sample sentences. Once you write it down, you will figure it out and it will stay in your brain. Reading the rule will not stay in your brain. Even if you memorize it, you will not understand what it means. But when you see it in action, then you're gonna realize how it works.
Exactly. So, use example sentences instead of repeating the rule all the time. Examples are life. Next one. Once you write all the correct examples down, make sure to verbally use them in your daily conversation, okay? Writing them down only makes no difference.
Well, you know, somebody might get it like that, but it's much harder. Much harder.
Yeah,
So don't be afraid.
speak out.
Always.
And the last thing we want to talk about is the
Sound of grammatically correct sentences.
let's say she does and she do. If you say she do, it kind of sounds bad, right? It's itchy. Itchy. It's kind of itchy in your ear. It's kind of ugh. You don't want to say she do. You want to say
She does.
make sure to listen to music. Music will help you memorize these sounds, especially if you sing along. So, that's pretty much all from us today. So, thank you, teacher Hannah. She's amazing. She's just... Thank you so much for watching, guys. Give us thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe down there.
Down.
Here.
Just fine. Just
Find it
subscribe.
somewhere here, right? Just do it.
Bro, you can do it.
Make sure to post your comments if there's something you want to add about this whole topic.
Or
If you have more questions.
Or if you actually want us to make a video about something you don't know or something you would like to hear more about, we can actually watch it next Sunday.
Sure, perfect. Did we just officially say that we're going to do videos every Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. We're gonna